Liam signs a lease on a 2-bedroom unit for $550 a week. Marcus signs a mortgage on a $700,000 home. Both are 30 years old. Both earn the same salary. Both have worked hard to save their first $100,000. And both believe they've made the smarter financial decision. 20 years later, one of them is worth more than $1.9 million. The other has built more than $1.5 million in wealth. Who actually comes out ahead? The answer isn't what most Australians expect, because this isn't another opinion video. Every number you're about to see comes from the same financial model using consistent Australia-wide assumptions. So let's compare renting and buying properly. The problem with most rent versus buy debates. Every rent versus buy debate on the internet usually starts with someone choosing a winner. Homeowners say, renting is dead money. Renters reply, buying is a trap. Both sides usually show the numbers that help their argument and quietly ignore the numbers that don't. This video does something different. It compares both strategies using the same assumptions, the same starting money, the same income, the same time period, and the same level of financial discipline. Neither Liam nor Marcus wastes money. Neither receives an inheritance. Neither wins the lottery. They simply choose different paths. The setup. Meet Liam. Liam decides to rent. Instead of buying a house, he rents a 2-bedroom unit for $550 a week. Rather than using his savings for a deposit, he invests his available capital into a diversified Australian and global index fund. Whenever his housing costs are lower than Marcus's, he invests the difference every month, without exception. Now meet Marcus. Marcus decides to buy. He purchases a $700,000 home using a 10% deposit. Because his deposit is under 20%, he pays lender's mortgage insurance. He also has buying costs like legal fees and transfer costs. His mortgage is approximately $642,600, including capitalized LMI. His loan runs for 30 years at around 6.15%. Both men begin with exactly the same total financial resources. From this point forward, the maths takes over. Year 1. At first glance, Marcus appears to be winning. Every mortgage repayment feels productive. He's building equity, he owns a backyard, he can renovate. Nobody can ask him to move out because the landlord is selling. Liam? He's paying rent every week. That doesn't feel like wealth. But something else is happening. Marcus's total housing costs are much higher. Mortgage repayments, council rates, home insurance, maintenance. Liam's housing costs are lower. Instead of spending that difference, he automatically invests it. By the end of year 1, Marcus has built approximately $100,000 in home equity. Liam's investment portfolio has grown to around $139,000. Already, the picture isn't as simple as rent is dead money. The costs people forget. Buying a home involves far more than just the mortgage. There are buying costs before you even receive the keys. There is lender's mortgage insurance when your deposit is below 20%. There are council rates, insurance, maintenance. Some years, maintenance is almost nothing. Other years, it's thousands of dollars. A roof, an air conditioner, a hot water system. These aren't unexpected expenses. They're expected expenses with unpredictable timing. Owning a home also locks much of your wealth inside one asset. That isn't necessarily bad, but it changes how your money grows. Liam's investments remain liquid. Marcus's wealth grows primarily through his home. Neither approach is automatically better. They're simply different. Year 5. 5 years later, both men have made excellent financial decisions. Marcus's home has appreciated. His mortgage balance has steadily fallen. His equity has grown to almost $295,000. Meanwhile, Liam's investments have continued compounding. His portfolio has reached roughly $329,000. This is the first major lesson. Wealth doesn't come from the label. It comes from what happens after the decision. Renting without investing creates very little wealth. Buying without staying long enough often creates less wealth than people imagine. Discipline matters more than the headline. The power of leverage. Marcus has something Liam doesn't: leverage. He used around $100,000 of total starting capital to control a $700,000 asset. When property prices rise, that leverage magnifies the gains. But leverage works both ways. If prices had fallen, his losses would also have been magnified. Leverage isn't magic, it's a multiplier. Understanding that single concept explains why property has created so many wealthy Australians, and why it has also created financial stress for others. Year 10. 10 years into the comparison, life has changed. Liam's rent has increased over time. That's realistic. Housing rarely becomes cheaper over long periods. But his investments have continued growing. His portfolio has now reached approximately $666,000. Marcus's property has continued appreciating. His home is now worth around $1.14 million. His mortgage has reduced substantially. His equity has climbed to approximately $600,000. Both are becoming wealthy, they're just doing it differently. Liam owns financial assets, Marcus owns property equity. Year 20. Now we reach the finish line. After 20 years, Liam's investment portfolio has grown to approximately $1.91 million. Marcus's home is worth roughly $1.86 million. His remaining mortgage balance is about $350,000. That leaves him with approximately $1.51 million in home equity. Both are millionaires, both have built genuine wealth. But under these assumptions, Liam finishes ahead by roughly $400,000. Does that mean renting always wins? Absolutely not. It means, under these assumptions, with perfect investing discipline, the renter came out ahead. Change the assumptions, and the result changes too. Increase property growth, the homeowner catches up, reduce investment returns, the renter loses ground. Lower mortgage rates, the buyer improves. Higher rent increases, the renter falls behind. There is no universal answer. What this really teaches: this comparison isn't really about houses, it's about behavior. Liam won because every extra dollar was invested, not spent. Marcus built over $1.5 million because he stayed invested in his home for 2 decades, not because buying automatically creates wealth. The biggest financial mistake isn't renting. The biggest financial mistake isn't buying. It's choosing either path and failing to build assets. The verdict: if you genuinely invest the difference every month, renting can build enormous wealth. If you buy a home you can comfortably afford and stay there for many years, buying can also build enormous wealth. The better choice depends on your income, your goals, your lifestyle, your local property market, and most importantly, your discipline. Don't ask, should I rent or buy? You should ask yourself this instead: whichever path I choose, will I consistently build wealth? That's the question that changes your future. If this comparison helped you understand the real numbers behind renting and buying, please give the video a like. It genuinely helps more Australians discover practical, evidence-based money content. Subscribe to Clear Every Day for weekly personal finance videos built around transparent calculations, not opinions. And I'd love to hear from you. Are you team rent, team buy, or do you think the answer depends on the situation? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.